The other Garfield game for the Amiga is called Winter's Tale, or Garfield A Winter's Tale, or it's called Garfield Winter's Tale. Made by The Edge, same people that made Garfield Big Fat Hairy Deal. And this is one of the worst games I've ever played. It's definitely terrible. I need to do some explaining for you, Garfield, just really quick. So what's going on here is that Garfield has fallen asleep in front of the refrigerator, which is open. And he's dreaming about a chicken that lays chocolate eggs. And he's dreaming about being in a, kind of like a ski lodge setting. Is during the colder months of the year. So what appears to be a couple mini games is in fact a full game. We got some Olympic events from the Winter Olympics here. Now we can play these however we want. Well, what am I talking about? We have 3 mini games here. We can play them in any order that we choose. But the first one we do has to be the downhill skiing. Now when I first tried this out, I was really doubting the fact that this wasn't just a collection of mini games, but there is a way to beat it. In order to beat it, we had to play this one first. It's just skiing. Steer Garfield. Garfield can lean over to the side and eat things. Odie's there, but he's controlled on with the same like joystick movements as Garfield is. And Garfield fucking trips a lot. But he has the ability to jump over anything. Now all this stuff is here, it's fucking pointless. Getting the food doesn't do anything. Having Odie get the food, which is supposed to be a bad thing according to the manual, doesn't do anything. Because the only thing that we have to do is that there's a big ramp at the end of the course, and if we jump over it, nothing happens. Well, we didn't jump over it right, Garfield. That's the thing. We have to jump over it the proper way. Like this. Nope, that's not it either. I guess we have to jump over it in a different way. By pressing jump, but not jump incorrectly, I guess. Garfield will take off and he will land in the lasagna factory and just kind of splat in the middle of that. Keep in mind that this is like a dream sequence kind of deal. And he's got tons of stuff here, and lasagna gets poured onto sheets and thrown into the garbage, and he goes up an elevator, gives us the peace sign, and walks over to an open furnace where he can eat all the lasagna he can, only for Odie to come by and ruin that too. Always an asshole in this, I don't know how many times I can say that. And we can't get to the lasagna eating section without jumping over there. It says it in the manual. It says in the manual that we have to do this, that we have to jump over, we have to go with the ramp. So I guess that, like, you know, judging from what the game is, there's no reason for a person to even try that. Like, it's a jump, and that's the only way to get like through it, and that's the only way to win. With that, we just go back to the selection screen. That leads us to the chocolate factory, the next level, the next mini game. This is not winter themed at all. It is just a side scroller based on a giant switch puzzle, but it's fucking bizarre. It's bizarre because according to the company that made the game, that what we're trying to, like, just judging by it, there's pipes, there's arrows, there's a bunch of stuff, there's food on the ground. Odie's there, but what we have to do is switch the pipes in a way that there are these chickens around, these robot chickens, I think, and once they all get activated, in fact the manual says like all of them have to be activated, then an elevator will open up that's locked, and then we can get to the chicken. However, it doesn't say either way, but the chickens don't have to be turned on all at once. They just have to all be turned on. Because if we go over to the section with the locked elevator, it shows a very small chicken head icons, and then once the chocolate flow has gone to them, they'll show us a key saying that means that they have been activated, that they're good to go. However, but just judging by that, going to this room and looking at it from the first time, there's just chicken heads on the top. So that could easily be just some kind of like wallpaper that they have in this fucking factory. Odie is a son of a bitch. In fact, I think this game should be called Odie's Revenge. He just, for all 3 of the mini games, he's just kind of there. Actually, fucking technically all 4 of the mini games, he's there just kind of fucking up with Garfield. I mean, I can't blame him, I guess, but at the same time, there's something about these Amiga Garfield games where Odie ends up being just fucking one of the most irritating things I've ever in a video game. And there's a time limit in this. Like, this thing's long, and it would take a long time for a person to figure out like which ones to push and where, or even that they could push things at all, because there's nothing that just kind of automatically snaps or something like that. Garfield has to pick up food so he doesn't get too hungry, I guess. He can slide down poles and yeah. And he can kick Odie, just like in Big Fat Hairy Deal. He can kick him and just fucking send him all the way across the screen, which is nice. There are elevators that connect all the things. So this map is 8 screens long and at least 4 screens tall, meaning that it's just 32 spaces, and then not all of them have switches, but there's a bunch of possible ways to do it, and I don't know if only one of them gets it right. I don't think so, but I'll just say this right now, Garfield, but I had to look up the way to do this, of course, and I did so with a YouTube video from RZX Archive. From RZX Archive, who apparently has a bunch of Spectrum walkthroughs. Yeah, there's no walkthrough of the Amiga version of this game, which I know it's old, but yeah, I basically just copied what that video did, and that's how we get through it. I'm so appreciative of that walkthrough because it showed me exactly what to do, and to beat this little section, it takes probably about 28 to 30 steps in a whole bunch of combinations. I mean, it's a big, and they say, and I've seen this, but going into the elevators with Odie on the same floor, he'll make this kind of menacing smile, and apparently he says it does something, and the manual says what he does is quote unquote just not fair or something like that. But I think he just, from what I could tell, I think he just sends it to a different elevator. But that's kind of important because there's not a whole lot of time, and the amount of switches that we have to switch, there's a lot of them, and we just can't really fit it in there. Okay, so we got these little arrows and these little buttons right here. Garfield can push the buttons, and the way he pushes buttons is by pressing up and the button on the joystick, which can be a problem when they're jumping. I kind of got the handle of it after a while, but at first it's just kind of like, oh, that's how you do it. I couldn't figure it out for a long time. I just didn't know what to do. But by getting the pipes in the right order and getting the arrows in the right order, we can make it so that the robot chickens lay chocolate eggs, Easter treats, holiday treats. And we just gotta do that 4 more times. I think this takes me about 16 minutes, I want to say, like 15, 16 minutes, I think I figured out. Done a few times, but after getting all 4 of the chickens going, the elevator opens up, we can go down it and then across all the screens, and then because we get to the ground level, and then we walk up to the chicken. The chicken has a picture of her boyfriend, I think, and she runs away outside. Garfield's got to go follow her. Is that a septic tank, Garfield? I don't know. One of the biggest problems with this mini-game is that Garfield actually moves pretty quickly. He's got good animation, stuff like that, and when he bends over, he can, and he can bend over, and he can jump. Crap, isn't a very good jump, but he moves pretty quickly. The only problem is that on every single screen, Garfield will be going, and then Odie will come by, and right when Odie gets there, Garfield, his speed gets cut in half probably because of the more animation on the screen, and it happens every single fucking screen. So we'll be going and be like, oh, come on, here we go, and then Odie will just be like, here I come, which means that I can't stand Odie in this fucking game. Everything he does, every single mini game, is just a piece of shit.